Welcome, Jesus's sheep. Okay, so I take it that you could hear and perceive the logic in the last video titled, Why Was Jesus the Lamb Slain from the Foundation of the World? And it has piqued your curiosity and you clicked the next video. Okay, so here you are right here. So I've done quite a few short videos that give you lots of deep insight that are leading up to the full, in-depth, comprehensive Bible study that shows you your whole story in one single video, okay? But for most people, learning about different important topics in the Bible is how we get very curious and desire to watch the full, in-depth, comprehensive Bible study. Yeah, because it is not a short video like I do here that introduce it, okay? I've put out quite a few different short videos about all kinds of different topics. You can click on my YouTube icon, just click my little picture and then go to my videos page. And there you will see all the videos that I've put up for you to pick and choose from to watch at your convenience. But first, okay, you're here now to learn about your own prodigal story that began before the foundation of the world. Yeah, that's right, it did. So I went and found a few Christian websites that I do agree with. We are all prodigals, and I wanted to show you why I agree with them. But let me give you just a couple examples of these websites that say this, okay? So this is gotquestions.org. What is the meaning of the parable of the prodigal son? Okay, so if we scroll, you could read the whole entire article if you want to, but all the way down here at the bottom, they say right here, we are all prodigals that have run from God, okay? But God is ready to forgive you. Okay, so, and this one here, Christianity.com, they say the same thing, who is the prodigal son? And here they say, we are the prodigal son, right there. And then this one, Dr. James Dobson, 45 years of ministry, by the way, we are all prodigals, okay? And down here he says, Jesus' parable of the prodigal son is more than just a story in the Bible. It is our story. So he's saying it's your story. He's saying it's my story. He's saying it's his own story as well. So I know that the word prodigal is kind of a strange word, right? We actually need to define prodigal so we can understand what we're talking about. So I got the dictionary pulled up and here is the word prodigal. And we know it's being used as a noun. So a prodigal is an individual who leaves home but later makes a repentant return home. Okay, yeah, because it's a person who left home. That's what a prodigal is. Okay, it's a person who left home. So I need you to think about one profound statement with me just for a minute here. So if you're a prodigal, then you cannot make a repentant return home if you did not rebel and leave home first in a hostile manner. Okay, so yeah, there you go. You can't make a repentant return home if you didn't leave home first, right? So now that we see every Christian church I've ever been to my whole life, they say we are all prodigals. So if you go around saying that we are all prodigals, well, that word we that you use right there, that we includes yourself. So you are saying you are a prodigal, okay? So I got Luke 15 pulled up in my eSword right here, and we're just going to check out the first 3 verses of the parable here. And Jesus is speaking here, and he says, hey, a certain man had 2 sons, and the younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the portion of goods that falleth to me. And he divided unto them his living. And not many days after, the younger son gathered all together and took his journey into a far country, and there wasted his substance with riotous living in the far country. So there's the beginning of the parable, okay? And Jesus is saying what the prodigal did. The prodigal left home, just like the definition of prodigal says, okay? So now what we're going to do is read this story the way it's intended to be read. And let's see what Jesus is going to teach you about yourself. After all, it is your personal story, right? Okay. So you are the younger of them. So you said to your father, "Hey, father, give me the portion of goods that falleth to me." So what exactly are you doing right here? Let's break this down. Well, this was not a peaceful statement at all. You rebelled against your father and you became actively hostile against your father. And so you made your father, your creator, your enemy right there. Okay. And I did the same thing. Okay. Because I'm a prodigal also. I did the same thing. So what did your father do? Well, he gave you all your stuff. There it is. And there was nothing that your father could do about your decision. And why? Well, because your father created you to have the free will to think for yourself. That's how he created you. So now you have all your stuff and you gathered all your stuff together and then you took your journey into a far country. So let's break this down. What are you doing right here? Well, Jesus says that you voluntarily separated yourself from your father. Right there. That's what you did. When you took your journey to a far country, you left home on a voluntary basis. So that's what Jesus says you did. And then what does riotous living mean? Well, that just means that you became a sinner and did lots of sins in your father's sight in the far away country. So now here you are in earth, reading your personal story directly from Jesus himself. So can you tell me what your father did for you in this earth? What did he do? Well, God, okay, he sent his only begotten son, Jesus Christ, into this faraway country called earth to die on the cross for you. Yeah, Jesus paid your fine on the cross while you were a sinner and God's enemy, a prodigal, so that you can be reconciled back to your former friendly relationship with your Father. You see, that's what Jesus Christ, the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world, did for you on the cross. Because he loved you even though you rebelled and ran away before the foundation of the world. All right. So now the responsibility is on your shoulders to reconcile and restore your former friendly relationship with your father. Yeah. And you got to admit your own personal guilt and ask forgiveness for voluntarily separating yourself from God to go be a sinner in earth. And admit your guilt and ask forgiveness the same way the prodigal son does. Okay. And here's the prodigal son's repentant return. He comes back to his father and he says, "Hey, Father, I have sinned against heaven. Okay. And I have sinned in thy sight. And I am no more worthy to be called thy son. Please forgive me, Father." Yeah, so there we go. That's his wholehearted, personal, deep, genuine apology that admits full responsibility. You see, Jesus clearly teaches us that you bear the blame. That's what he's trying to teach you. That you bear the blame for your voluntary separation from your Father uh, before the foundation of the world. Yeah, you bear the blame for that. And so do I. And so does everybody. Okay? We all individually bear the blame for our voluntary separation from our Father. So, the big question is now is why do all the pastor preachers stand up there in the churches and lie to you and say that you inherited all this from Adam? Okay. Why do they lie? Well, it's because they do not know the truth and they completely ignore Jesus's own words. Oh yeah, they just completely ignore it. I myself, I do not ignore Jesus. Okay. I do not go try to prove Jesus is wrong. I do not argue with Jesus' own words. I believe Jesus because Jesus does not lie to me. And his whole book does not lie to me. Okay, so are you ready to review? Let's review what Jesus just taught you. Jesus was the lamb slain from the foundation of the world. That means you existed before the foundation of the world. You voluntarily separated yourself from God, your Father. You chose to become a prodigal sinner and God's enemy on your own free will choice before the foundation of the world. And Jesus is trying to teach you that you need to ask forgiveness. Okay? You need to ask forgiveness before you pass away. So you are not eternally separated from God after you pass away. Yeah, we are separated from God right now on our own free will choice. However, he's given you a chance to learn your own personal story in the Bible and ask forgiveness. All he wants you to do is admit your guilt. That's it. You just admit your guilt before God. You tell him you deserve your punishment. Ask him, I am so sorry. Please forgive me. And he's ready to forgive you. But the responsibility is on your shoulders to ask forgiveness before you pass away. Yeah. So I just got done showing you the real meaning of your own personal prodigal story. Yes. Okay. Am I able to teach you to believe it? No, I can't teach you to believe it. I can show it to you all day long, but I do not have the ability to teach you to believe it. Okay? Only Jesus has the ability to teach you to believe what Jesus taught you. So how many of you have changed your mind and are not prodigals anymore? I've seen so many Christians say that they are prodigals and then instantly change their mind after I show this presentation to them. They run away from their personal conviction. The last Christian I showed this to said, "Oh, I'm a prodigal, but I don't identify as a prodigal." I was like, "What? Okay, man. Well, you believe whatever you want." So if you are like me, if you are like myself and believe Jesus, because I do, and I have not changed your mind, and you're still a prodigal at this point in the video, so what are you going to do with this new understanding about your prodigal self? What are you going to do with it? Just ignore this? Just forget about it? Never think about it again? God's word teaches you so much more about your own personal story. God's word was written directly to you. Okay? You are the target audience of God's word, my friend. And it was written to inform you of your own personal story, who you are and why you are here. Yeah, that's what it's written to tell you. Okay? So this is only the beginning of your journey through the Bible if you've never been taught the truth before. So click on the next video that's on your screen right now. It's titled, I Had a Big Problem with God. Yeah, I did my whole life almost. And learn more about your own personal story in the Bible during the next 12-minute video. And I hope to see you over there.